station, this is Houston. Are you ready for the event?
Houston, this is the space station. I'm ready for the event.
ESA, this is Mission Control Houston. Please call station for a voice check.
Yeah. Houston, we can hear you. Yeah, shall I say something? Oh my, I'm so nervous. Station, this is ESA. How do you hear me?
Hello, Isa. I read you loud and clear. You should not be nervous. I am several thousand kilometers away. There's nothing I can do.
This is so exciting. We can hear you. Yeah. So what about, oh my God. Is it really you? Oh. Luca, but you can't see us. You can hear us, but you can't see us. Is that right?
Yes, that's correct. I can only hear you, but I cannot see you. But you can, obviously you can see me because I can hear laughing in the background.
So what time is it where you are? Are you tired? Did you wake you up?
Oh no, not at all. It's 6 o'clock in the afternoon. We use the GMT here, the Greenwich Mean Time. It's easier for everybody because we have to work both with Moscow, which is ahead of us, and Europe, which is basically on our same timeline, and Houston, which is behind us. So GMT works a little bit for everybody.
But Luca, it doesn't look very, cozy where you are.
I think it's cozy. It's got nice lights. We have food. We have water. We have good friends up here, so we like it. We enjoy it. It's a little bit like a special submarine, only space.
Wonderful. Luca, we're so happy to have you here. And Tim, let's start. We have some great questions for you from some kids here in Sweden. And we would like to start with it. So
hey,
go ahead, Tim.
Luca, it is wonderful to see you back on board the International Space Station. You're looking great. You're obviously at home, back in your environment. I'm going to get straight on with some questions that the audience have asked. So the first question is from Liv Noirfalis, who's 9 years old, who asks, can you describe what you see from the space station? Now, I just checked on my phone, and you should be somewhere between Australia and New Zealand, but it's nighttime. But can you just tell us in general, what's the view from the space station?
Well, Tim, first of all, it's great to hear your voice. And secondly, I think you'll be also in agreement if I said that the best thing that we see from the space station, the one that really fills our eyes is Earth. When we look outside the windows, especially Cupola, the European-built window, what we see, it really fills our view is the Earth. And every side of the Earth is always different, whether there are clouds or the sun is shining, we are over water, over land. No matter where we are, every time we look outside, sunrise, sunset, day, night, there is always something to see. It's always interesting. And I would say that that's the view that really catches our eyes the most. Now, we can also look off the sides and look at stars, constellation. We see a lot of stars up here, a lot more than in general we see from the ground because there is no light pollution. But these days, actually, when the moon is up, the light of the moon is so bright that we only see a black sky. So yeah, the Earth is just amazing to watch.
Thank you, Luca. It's a view I miss very much. So the second question is from Pele Louvgren, who's 3 years old, who asks, what sounds do you hear in space?
And that is a really good question. So it depends on where you are. Mostly on board the space station, the sounds that we hear are fans, ventilation going on, moving air around. Because if we didn't have these fans and ventilation, what I'm breathing, I would create a bubble of my own breath, which is carbon dioxide, which is not very good for me. It would just stay here. And so in order to take away the carbon dioxide and replace it with fresh air, we need these fans constantly moving the air. And these fans make a noise. So that is the most constant noise on the space station. And to me, it is like the space station itself is alive and breathing. So it's a good noise to have. Almost like on an airplane, if you've ever been onto one. When you're outside the space station, inside a spacesuit, what you hear is a pump keeping you alive. We have a pump inside the spacesuits that moves the air and the water and the oxygen, and that is the sound that you hear, this pump whizzing around.
Thank you.
Sorry, Tim, because I never had the opportunity to ask a guest this. Can you answer upside down? Yes, upside down. And the next question, please.
Okay, Luca, I'm going to hand over to Thomas in a minute, but I've got one more question from you, and it's from Livia Antonsson, who's 5 years old. And I am so glad that Livia asked this question. Thank you, Livia. Luca, if you had any hair, how would you wash your hair in space?
Well, that is a tough question. I haven't had hair for a long time, so I probably wouldn't remember really well. But I've seen my crewmates washing their hair, and what they do, they get it wet, and then they put soap in it. They make the soap very bubbly, and then they just put some more water on a towel, and then they pass the towel through the hair, and they make sure that they get most of the soap and the water out, and then we hang the waters to dry, the wet towel to dry, and we recover the water. But there is a fantastic video of my crewmate Karen Nyberg back from 2013, where she washes her hair, and Karen has long blonde hair, and she takes very good care, and the hair goes all the way up, and she looks like a Norwegian troll, and it's really cute.
Thank you, Luca. Great answer. It's great talking to you. I'm going to hand over to Thomas for a few more questions now.
Thank you, Tim.
Great talking to you, Tim.
This is really great to see you. You are enjoying the stay on, enjoying your time on station. Let me directly continue with the next question from Noah Salomonsen. He's 7 years old, and he would like to know, how do you know if it's night or day when it's always dark in space?
Oh, well, in space it's always dark, yes. But on the Earth, as soon as we look outside, if we see the Earth illuminated, it's day. If it's dark, it's night. But to us, it doesn't matter, because we just use our watches, and we go for the normal day cycle. So for about 14, 16 hours we're awake. We sleep for 8 hours. And it doesn't matter whether it's dark outside or light, because we use the lights inside. Now, of course, we love to watch the Earth, whether it's day or night. So all we have to do is look outside the window, and we found out whether we are in the night part of the orbit or the day part of the orbit.
Thanks a lot, Luca, for this answer. And I directly come to the next question from Daniel Savichevas. He's also 7 years, and he would like to know, how does ISS avoid crashing into the thousands of satellites that are flying around?
Well, I really hope we never crash into any of the satellites. So there are two parts to this question. The first answer is that normally satellites are much higher. We fly at about 400 kilometers, while normally satellites fly at thousands of kilometers away. So we are really on different orbits. However, we sometimes run the risk of getting into debris. And that happens because there are old satellites that are destroyed, that are broken, and so there are a lot of debris around the Earth. Now, from the ground, we have radars tracking those debris, and whenever from the ground they think that we might be crossing orbit with one of these pieces of space trash, we just change our orbit and get away from them. We just change our orbit and get away from them.
Thanks, Luca, for this answer. And a last question I have is from Karl Arvid. He's 5 years old, and he has actually a very interesting question about the future. And I'm sure you have some interesting answer to that, because he's asking, to which planet would you like to travel most and why?
Well, I'm going to answer this question sideways. And so I have two answers for you guys. I think that the planet I would like to visit the most is planet Earth, because I believe that right now there are no other planets that are as beautiful. We haven't found a planet as beautiful as our planet. It's the only one that we know that has life. It's really unique in our solar system. And I haven't visited all of it, so that's the planet that I would like to visit the most. There are so many places that I want to go to, including Sweden. And then my second answer is if I could go anywhere. Well, the destination, the best destination is the one that is unknown. So in the future, if we go back to the moon, I would love to go to the moon. If I could fly to Mars, I would love to go to Mars. But right now, my mission is to fly on the space station, and I'm really excited of all the science and exploration and that technology that we are developing. And this is exactly where I want to be right now.
Fantastic.
Luca, a lot of applause for your answers. Thanks a lot. It has really been a pleasure and an honor to talk to you on behalf of Tim, and also Christa Fuglsang.
It's wonderful, yeah.
Is with us here. It's great to see you, and I hand back to our dear moderator.
Yes, and please, I have a last question for you, because we have a culture festival here in Stockholm. And I wonder, do you have any chance of enjoying any culture on the spaceship? You seem to be the...
Well, of course, we have a lot of cultural events. First of all, you have to understand that this is an international space station. So we have 2 Russians on board, 3 Americans, 1 Italian, and it sounds like the beginning of a joke, but it's not. We do a lot of activities together, and that's already a cultural exchange. One of the most favorite cultural exchanges that we do is actually dinners. We try to have dinners all together, so that sometimes we eat Italian food, sometimes we eat American food, Russian food, and telling stories from our countries and from our background. That's already opening our minds and increasing our culture. But of course, now on the space station, we also have access to movies and to music. We can play music. We can listen to music. We watch movies together from different countries. But in the end, when you talk about culture, culture is knowledge, and we on the space station, we create knowledge. Our job is to do science. We perform up to 120 hours of science in a week with all kinds of different experiments, human experiments, physiology, biology, physics, engineering, and that is all going down for the benefit of Earth. And what more culture could you expect than that?
Thank you so much. It's been such a great pleasure. Luca, it's the best phone call I ever had in my life. And I think the Swedish audience want to say bye-bye, hej då Luca. Oh, that was great. Wonderful. And thank you so much. Wow. We don't want to leave him, do we? Bye-bye. And thank you so much, Thomas and team. It's wonderful.
Station, this is Houston ACR. That concludes the event.
Thank you to all participants from ESA. Station, we are now resuming operational audio communications.